Yeah, 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 yeah. What's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a video of mine. I'm just gonna turn this way. Yes, I have 2 boxes of chips over there. I got a box of Cheetos and a box of Smart Food. Don't judge me. Well, judge me if you want. I don't care. As you see by the title, I'm going to be giving you guys a story time. I'm not gonna lie, I have put this off since the day I got the idea to make this video because I really don't want to talk about it. But I also know, like, when I was in this situation, there weren't any content creators that had gone through that situation that were in a healthy mindset to give advice to get out of the situation. There were content creators that were going through the situation that I was going through at that time, but they were very like aggressive and they weren't giving healthy guidance. I'll say they weren't giving healthy guidance. It was very dysfunctional guidance. So yeah, I have it written down of how, like the points I want to discuss so I can keep going, because otherwise I'll just start talking and this video will be 3 hours long and I've gotten nowhere and you're like, what was the point of even watching this video? So if you are somebody that is currently in a twin flame situation, or think you may be in a twin flame situation, or were in a twin flame situation, and you think that it could possibly be karmic, and karmic just means it is the opposite of the divine blessing. So karmic is usually like the bad one. It's like the toxic one, I'll say. The karmic is the toxic one, and then the divine one is the healthy one. So I'm going to talk about the toxic one. Okay. Lord, just please help me stay on track. Help me say the things that need to be said, and help me to say this and not cringe while I'm saying it. Okay, amen. I had to say a little quick prayer. I had to, because I have not spoken about this person or this situation in several years, and I have really acted as if it didn't happen in my life. So it was really, but the first point I want to make, or the first topic, the first thing I want to discuss is how we met. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I was at my best friend's house, and it was 2018. It was the summer of 2018, and she had just gotten out of a relationship, and she was telling me how she was on Tinder, and she was like, yeah, like, you know, why don't you try it? And I was like, you know what? Yeah, why don't I try it? So I was at her house one day, and I had only been on Tinder for like a couple of days. I had like over 100 likes or 100 hearts, or I forget how the app works. I ain't been on that app since then, but I think it was like 100 likes or something. A lot of interest. Okay, there's a lot of interest on there, and I had scrolled and like people was matching with me, but I was just bored. I'm not gonna lie, I was bored, and she was like, oh, you should try Tinder. I was like, oh, okay. I wasn't like thinking anything was gonna come out of it. Now, I'm gonna give you a little backstory. Before I got on Tinder, I was seeing the number 1111 everywhere I went. I was seeing it on license plates. I was just seeing it on the clock. I was seeing it everywhere. Like when I would purchase things, it would come out to be $11.11. And I would look it up, because at that time, I wasn't too spiritual, like in the sense of understanding signs And every time I looked it up, it said that your twin flame is on its way and you're about to reunite with your twin flame. So I was like, okay. I didn't know what a twin flame was, but I was like, okay, sure. So I was seeing it everywhere. And like before, like I said, like the week before I met him or crossed paths with him, I should say, virtually, I was seeing it like overdrive. And I was at her house and I was laying across her bed and I was swiping. And I swiped on him and we matched. And I was like, now at the time, he was very attractive to me. So, and I didn't feel like I was that attractive as a woman. So when I saw that he had swiped on me, I was like, he swiped on me? And I felt it. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I felt it. I was like, nah, like, how? Like, me? And I showed my best friend. I was like, girl, look, he swiped on me. She's like, oh, he's cute. And so we had like chatted. I think he messaged me and was on like, hey. Yeah, he messaged me in the app and he was like, hey. I was like, hey. And I think he was like, what are you doing? And I told him what I was doing. And then I didn't hear from him for like 2 weeks. So I was like, okay, like, cool. I just went on back to swiping and having fun. And then like 2 weeks go by and he was like, here's my number, text me. And I was like, here's my number, text me. Cause like, what? No, I'm not texting you first. And I swear, like milliminutes after I said, here's my number, text me, he texted me and hey, his name. And he was like, hey, it's his name. And I was like, okay, I've never had that before. Usually if I tell a guy like, hey, you text me first, they don't usually do it. They just act as if I never existed. But no, he texted me. So we started texting and we were having like deep conversations, like right off the bat, like really deep conversations. And that was odd to me because I've met guys offline before, but it was never like, whatchamacallit. It was never like deep combos. It was always the, hey, how you doing? What are 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 you doing? Every single day. But no, like these were actual real conversations. Then we started FaceTiming like every night. And like he was in college, pre-med. So he would call me like if he was studying or like was taking a break from studying, he would call me. And now see here's where I was like, you're doing too much. I was like, oh, you don't have to call me. Like, you're trying to study and go to school. Like, you just focus on that. I know that was a sign that he liked me. And me saying that to him made it come off that I didn't like him. I did like him. I just felt like he was doing too much, showing too much interest. I was 19, okay? By the way, he was 23. He was 23 and I was 19. So yeah, and I've never had a guy interested in me before. So anyways, so yeah, we were FaceTiming a lot, or he would FaceTime me before he would go to bed. And there was one night we were on FaceTime. He fell asleep. I hung up because I was like, I'm gonna hang up. You know, yeah, I know. I missed all the signs. So now that leads me to when we first like linked up physically. So it was after maybe like 3 weeks of talking through text and FaceTime. I don't feel like it was longer than that, but he had texted me and he wanted to meet up. So I was like, oh, perfect timing. I was at my best friend's house again, and her parents were out of town. So I was like, oh, you can just come here. So he drove. It was like a 40-minute drive. He drove from where he was to me, where I was. And maybe not, no, it was like 40 minutes. It was like 40 minutes. So he drove to where I was. And when he got there, he was like, I'm outside. I was like, okay, come to the door. He came to the door. And when I opened the door, We literally stood there. It felt like 20 minutes. It could have been 5. It could have been 2 minutes. It could have been a minute. But we literally stood there and stared into each other's eyes. And I remember saying, I was like, oh my God, like, you're the person my grandfather said he was sending to me. Because my grandfather had passed away the year before. Yeah. No, earlier that year. My grandfather passed away in February 2018. I met him in August of 2018. So when my grandfather passed away, I have this gift where when my family members passed away, are really just, I can connect with people on the other side, okay? So my grandfather came to me the night he passed away, and he told me he had somebody for me, but he also said, leave that boy alone. And I later on realized this was the leave that boy alone. This wasn't the, I have somebody I'm sending for you, okay? So and I was also, when my grandfather passed away, I was dealing with somebody else. So I thought he was saying to leave that person alone. And then I did leave that person alone. And I ended up meeting him like a few weeks, or connecting with him a few weeks after I had left that person alone. So I just figured, I said, oh, he got to be the one that you said you were sending for me, because I met him after I left that person alone. So we were staring each other's eyes. And like, I mean, I broke the eye contact. I was like, okay, yeah, you can come inside. But like, we literally stopped and stared, like looking into each other's souls, okay? He comes inside. I took him to my best friend's room, and like, we were all talking. And then like, she was like flirting, like twirling her hair, trying to get his attention, and he just wasn't with it. And he said something. I think she said, like, can you say something in your language or something like that? And like, I felt, like, I literally felt in my spirit, I was like, ooh, you don't say that. Like, he was Jamaican, like from Jamaica. Like, he was raised Jamaican, not Jamaican American, but he was raised Jamaican. So he could speak patois. And when she said, like, can you say something in your language or something like that? It was something like that I just knew, like, oh no. And so like, he looked at her like he was going to say something, but like, he was trying not to say something because he was trying to like be focused on me. And yeah, I was like, okay, let's go to the living room. So we go to the living room. I turn on the TV. We're watching My 600-Pound Life. I don't know why that's what we were watching. And we were cuddling on the couch. One thing to another, and we did the deed. First meetup. Yeah. And after that, he came back the next day, I think. Yeah, he came back the next day. And then I didn't see him till like November, December. It was before we both were going on vacation. And because I hadn't seen him, we were still talking. We were still texting every day. He would text me good morning, and we would have a conversation, and we would talk like in between his classes and in between his work schedule. But I wasn't thinking he was interested in me, because I'm like, okay, he got what he wanted. He got my body. He don't want nothing else. So I was talking to other people. And I started talking to this Puerto Rican dude, and I went to meet the Puerto Rican dude, hooked up with him. And that night, I spent the whole day with this dude. And then that night, I texted the Karmic and was like, hey, I want to see you. So I saw him like a week later, and yeah. So, and that night when I saw him, I assumed that like he was out here with other chicks, because I'm like, there's no way you're all focused on me. But he was. I didn't know. So he was like, I was like, so have you been like seeing other people? And he was like, no, have you? I was like, yeah, I did. Once. I told him it was once, but it was really twice or 3 times. But he was kind of sad. Like I felt the disappointment. I was like, ooh, but I had bought tickets for us to go to a professional basketball game. So I kind of used that to like butter him up. I'm horrible. I'm horrible. I was like, but I got us tickets to go see your favorite basketball team. He had never seen them before in person. He lit up. He was like, really? I was like, yes, really. And like, I was going to use it as a surprise. I was going to just surprise him like months in the line, but I was like, let me just tell him I got this now. So I did, and we did the do. And he's, yeah. Okay, so I kind of, wow, wait, that's all I wanted to talk about? Wait, and then, okay, so, yeah, we're gonna have to, I know, it's a cliffhanger, I'm sorry, but I just wanted this video to be about how we met. The next part is gonna be about, what is it? How it all ended. Okay, so this is the first part. I'm sorry. I know you hooked. You hooked. And you're going to have to wait for the next episode, okay? Cuz I'm not posting it back to back. It'll be essentially back to back, but you're going to have to wait till next Sunday to see the second part. I love y'all. Don't be mad, okay? Make sure you subscribe and turn that bell so you don't miss it when I upload part 2, okay? Because I know I ended it on a good time. I know I did. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.